I will definitely get back to the tech titans and their role, but I want to focus on what you said about the World Economic Forum and the title of the book, because as you mentioned, the title comes from the 8 predictions for the world in 2013, posted by the World Economic Forum on Twitter, now X, back in 2018, created from an article that they published in 2016. This isn't some conspiracy theory. Klaus Schwab says this all the time. You talk about Dr. Evil. I mean, some could say he looks like a central casting for a Bond villain, but nonetheless, you've got Klaus Schwab saying, as it is said in that list, you will owe nothing and you will be happy. Whatever you want, you will rent. So why don't you give us some background here on Klaus Schwab? We know he formed the World Economic Forum in 1971, but for those that aren't familiar with it, or just know it as the organization that puts together Davos, where the rich and powerful gather in the winter of every year. Give us the background that we need to understand here and why we need to be concerned by their agenda.
Yeah, so with Klaus Schwab, the one piece of credit I'll give him is he's one of the most persistent individuals I've ever seen. He's had these messed up messages and he has been trying to push them, repackage them, repurpose them, entrench them, like you said, since 1971, when it was originally called the European Management Forum, I believe. And, as things shifted in sort of the geopolitical landscape, what was sort of these business ideas started to attract people from the political arena and the like. And somehow he just managed to sort of put himself in the middle of a lot of very powerful people. And so he was able to kind of keep putting out his message. One of the most interesting takeaways is that since that time in 1971, when he founded the European Management Forum, the WEF predecessor, he also put out a book. And this concept of the stakeholder kind of popped up at that point in time. And it really ties into everything that we're talking about here. He very clearly is trying to basically conflate the concept of a stakeholder with a shareholder. If you are a shareholder in something, in a company, for example, you've gotten that way because you've either put something at risk or, because you put something at risk. It could be your capital or it could be your time and your blood, sweat, and tears. But you have taken that risk and you are getting compensation for the risk. And that is why you are deriving benefit. His idea of a stakeholder is incredibly vague.